Hey YouTube, time for another pot tobacco review. Today we're doing Bengal Slices, the celebrated Bengal Slices. So this is an English blend. It's a crumble cake. It's got black Cavendish, Latakia, Oriental Turkish, yellow and black Virginias, and a topping. So let's go ahead and get us a jar note, and then we'll fire it up and we'll talk all about it. So this jar is dated last year. It's got a year of age already on it. Yep. Okay, so on the jar note, what I get as far in layers, I get topping, then I get Orientals, then I get Latakia, then I get black Cavendish in the smell, in the tin note. That in that order, that's how I get. That's what I get. Topping first, then Orientals, Turkish Oriental smell, smoky campfire Latakia, sweet black Cavendish. The topping on this is supposed to be licorice, and I think there may be some anise also. And I totally get that. I would say I kind of get more anise than I do licorice. But there is some licorice there. It almost smells like those black licorice jelly beans a little bit, if you've ever smelled those. Yep. So topping, Oriental spice, smoky Latakia, and then the sweetness from the black Cavendish. And it's a pleasant jar note because I like the topping. All right, got us a pot packed here. This is the Missouri Meerschaum Mark Twain, straight stem. So I'm gonna fire it up. Now this blend has a sort of a complicated history, and I'm gonna lay it out for you the best I can. It's really interesting. This blend came out in the 70s. So I get Oriental spice really on the first puff. And to me, this blend is Oriental forward, and I like that. I've heard some people call this a lap bomb. I wouldn't describe it that way. Automatically I get Orientals. I get like an incensey spice. I get like a almost like cedar wood. Already getting some sweetness from the black Cavendish, which I like. So this blend has Oriental Turkish, yellow and black Virginias, Latakia, and black Cavendish. And to me, that's something that set it apart from most English blends, most Latakia blends, Latakia heavy blends, is that it had that black Cavendish, and that gives it a little bit of a sweet note, a sweet tone, and I like that. I like Latakias that have that smokiness, but then have that sweetness there to cut that. I kind of appreciate that type of blend, and that's exactly what this is. That's one reason why I got this and tried it. Let me give this a tamp here. And the Latakia is there, and like I say, this tin's got this jar's got a year of age on it, so the Latakia has already probably softened some, but I never felt like it was super campfire smoky. It's there, and I enjoy it, but I get more Orientals. I get more of the almost like a candy anise licorice note from the top, and even in the smoke, I get that, which I enjoy, but it is there. And then I get that sweetness from the Black Cavendish. And it's not too much. It's not too much. It's just there. So this blend was originally made by Sabrani House for James B. Russell. Trademark 1978. But as early as like the mid 1960s, Sabrani made a similar blend for Joe Zeeves, Smoker's Haven in Columbus, Ohio. And that guy wanted, Sabrani was already making Our Best blend. He was making that for them, and that was one of their most popular blends that they sold at their shop. And the guy there at the shop wanted them to pretty much take that blend, which was ribbons, press it, age it in cakes, and then slice it. And that's how they processed it, and they called it crumble cake. And they made that for him for his shop in Ohio. In the 60s. And it was a hit. Crumble cake, spelled with 2 K's. And then James B. Russell wanted something similar. And apparently what Sabrani made for him was too similar. And so they had to change it. It was too similar to the crumble cake. And so they had to change it. And whether or not they actually changed the leaf components is sort of unknown. But they did add the top note. And that's really what became the celebrated Bengal Slices. So it was trademarked in 1978. And then in 1980, Sabrani shuttered. And Gallagher took over making the blends. And J.F. Germain got crumble cake. They got the crumble cake blend. And eventually, A&C Peterson wound up getting Bengal Slices. And they apparently possibly changed the recipe. And it just didn't sell as good. And it was discontinued in 1999. And then in 2015, the Standard Tobacco Company and Russ Ouellette set out to recreate a legend. And that's the version we have now. So sort of a long and kind of twisted history there. In the 60s and in the 70s, in the 60s, people loved the crumble cake. And in the 70s, when Bengal Slices was released, people loved it. And people smoked it out throughout the 80s. It was a really popular, legendary, beloved blend. And it's really good. But that's the version that we have today, and that was in 2015 when they did their research, and Russ Ouellette did his research to try to recreate this blend, and he made another blend to start with that was supposed to be sort of an homage to Bengal Slices, the Bengal Slices that he had smoked, and that blend's called Fusilier's Ration, and I've never smoked that, but apparently it was really good, and it was a good sort of an homage to Bengal Slices. But then they got the rights to the original stuff, and he was able to get his hands on some additional information that helped him to sort of perfect the blend and the recipe to get it more like the original Bengal Slices. And that is what we have here. That's what this is, and that was in 2015. So really, this has been out as of the presentation of this video. This is 2024. This has been out for close to 9 years, pretty much 9 years. I don't know how close it is to the old one. You know, I'll probably never know. I'll probably never get a chance to smoke that old one. It came in the old square tin, and people loved it. So it's an English blend, Latakia, Oriental Turkish, Yellow and Black Virginias, Black Cavendish. It's a crumble cake, licorice, anise topping. Comes in only the 1.75 ounce or 50 gram tin. As of according to this presentation, it's a little over $10 an ounce. So it's a little pricey. But it is such a good tobacco, and it's really creamy, and it's really rich, and it's really quality. They use good leaf in this. To me, this blend is Oriental forward. Yes, I get the Latakia. It's in there, and it would not be the same blend without it. But to me, this blend is not about the Latakia. To me, it's about the Orientals and that sweet black Cavendish and that top note. The Latakia is there to sort of to round out the English blend, to give you a little smokiness, to give you just a tad bit of that campfire edge. And it's nice. But I really feel like the Orientals, to my palate, are the star of this show. But it does all play very well together. The Latakia does what it's supposed to. It gives you that smokiness. It gives you that almost leather camp. It's not quite leather. It's more smoke and campfire. I really like the sweetness from the Black Cavendish. To me, that sets this blend apart a little bit as an English. But sometimes the Latakia is subdued, like it's not even there. You get more of the Oriental, incense, spice, earth, wood, aromatic wood. You get more of that, and the Black Cavendish and the top note. I really don't get much of a Virginia note in this. I feel like the Virginias, they're doing what they're supposed to, maybe giving it some body, giving it a little bit of burn rate or something. You know, I'm sure they add some flavor. But again, I get mostly Orientals, get a little bit of sweetness from that Black Cavendish, and I get that top note. Yeah, this blend makes me think about the 70s. It takes me back to the 70s. The tin note and the smoke. It just... It's got just sort of a almost old-timey vibe. Not quite old-timey. We're talking the 70s. That's 50 years ago, roughly. I don't know. It's just got some sort of thing going on where I think about 70s cars. I think about 70s clothes. I think about 70s style music. it's very satisfying. The Orientals are, the aromatic wood spice is, it's complex enough to keep you interested. Now, this used to come originally in a square tin, and I missed that. I wish we had that back, because I feel like cakes and flakes are probably always going to do better, and especially cakes, crumble cakes, sliced cakes are always going to do better in a square tin. I have read that originally the slices were originally a lot tighter and a lot harder and thicker and held together better. These, they crumble out really easy. It's no problem to crumble it out. No problem at all. It's called a crumble cake, but I've heard or read that, like I said, they used to stay together a little better. And I think part of that, it's been suggested that they can't stay packed nice and tight in a round tin. They shake around, and I think that's probably true. So, and I think the square tins look cool. They have a classy look to them, and I hate we missed that. I love the tin art on this. Very classy. The flags crossed, and I like the colors. Really nice tin art. But it'd be cool if we could get the square tins back. But one reason why apparently they can't do that is the Standard Tobacco Company doesn't have access to, number one, the machinery to pack the square tins. That's one thing. And also they can't, I guess, get the stuff maybe to fabricate, to slice the stuff right, or to fabricate the square tins and the labels themselves. I don't know. There's some reason why something's keeping them from doing the square tins. They would do them, from what I've read, but I wish we could get back to that. That would be really cool. But yeah, I really enjoy smoking this blend. If you like sweet Latakia blends, if you like English blends, but that are maybe a little different themselves, you know, or if you like English blends that have black Cavendish in them, you know, I would definitely consider trying this one. On the Retro Hill, it's very Oriental forward. Sometimes I feel like that's all I can taste is the Oriental tobaccos, which I love. I'm for it. I really like Oriental tobaccos. And I would say the ones that they put in this are top quality. A little smokiness here and there, kind of around the Oriental center. Always a little sweet black Cavendish to smooth everything out, and the top note, and the aroma that you get from the smoke is good. Like that's like that top note that's burning. It's good. And I do get a licorice note from it, black licorice. It burns really good. I have no problem with it burning. There's a great article on the history of this blend written by G.L. Pease, and I'll put a link in the description to it. But I really enjoyed reading it, and the way he talked about this blend is sort of the way I feel about it. It's got just a pleasing mystique about it. I don't know if it's the top note, I don't know if it's the Orientals that they pick, or if it's just the combination of everything. It's just a very good blend, well put together. The components uniquely complement each other. smokes good in this cob. I've smoked it in briars. I have an English pipe that I smoke Englishes in. It's a briar pipe. It smokes good in there. Well, thank y'all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I really enjoy Bengal Slices. I'm glad that they set out to recreate this blend for us and that we have it now. And I definitely recommend it. Feel free to drop a comment if you smoked this blend. Let us know what you think about it. If you smoked the original Bengal Slices, please feel free to drop a comment about the blend and what you remember about it. I'd love to hear about the original blend too, and the way it tasted, maybe even compared to this one. So comments welcome, always. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Like this content if you dig it. Another thing you can do is, if you want to, go ahead and tell some other pot smokers about this channel, okay? We'd really appreciate that. Thank y'all so much. See you next time.